The question looms large. Have the Denver Broncos finally fixed their biggest weaknesses heading into training camp? With camp just a week away, the energy in Denver is electric. And for good reason. 3 major issues that have haunted this team in recent years finally look like they're on the verge of being resolved. We're talking about the tight end room, the coaching chaos that once plagued the sideline, and a run game that desperately needed life. Let's begin with the tight ends, a position group that was flat out painful to watch last season. Denver rolled out Adam Troutman, Lucas Kroll, and Nate Adkins. And the results were, frankly, near the bottom of the league. Minimal production, minimal impact, and absolutely no help for a young quarterback trying to find rhythm. The numbers don't lie. When you look at total targets for TE1 and TE2 across the NFL, the Broncos were buried near the bottom. Just 72 total targets between Troutman and Kroll, one of the lowest in the league. Even the Colts, with Kyle Granson and Mo Alley-Cox, managed more volume. That tells you everything. But Denver didn't sit still. They went out and made a statement. Evan Engram is now a Bronco, and that changes everything. Engram brings proven production. In 2023 alone, he had 114 receptions on well over 130 targets. The year before, 73 catches, close to 100 targets. And before his injury last season, he was already on pace for another big year. That kind of consistency and explosiveness is what Denver desperately needed. And they didn't stop there. They added Caleb Lohner, a developmental prospect who, with the right guidance, could evolve into a weapon in the mold of a Jimmy Graham-type force. The tight end room is no longer a liability. It's finally a strength. For Bo Nix, this couldn't be better news. Young quarterbacks thrive when they can trust their tight ends. These guys are the safety valve, the outlet, the escape hatch when chaos hits the pocket. The elite ones, from Mahomes to Lamar, all rely on them. And now, Bo has that same advantage. No more excuses. The tight end drought is over. When you look around the league, the top quarterbacks all have one thing in common: a reliable, dominant tight end. Josh Allen has Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox. Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, Lamar Jackson, Mark Andrews. The list goes on. And now, Bo Nix has Evan Engram. Let's be real, the Broncos' tight end room still isn't elite. Not yet. But it's miles ahead of where it was last year. The improvement is undeniable. In 2024, that unit barely registered, maybe a 2 or 3 out of 10 in confidence. Now, it's a solid 5 or 6. There's stability, there's a playmaker in Engram, and there's finally hope. Denver fans can breathe a little easier knowing this position is no longer dragging the offense down. Now let's shift to the second major fix, one that has reshaped the entire franchise: coaching. After years of inconsistency, chaos, and flat-out failure, the Broncos finally have a steady hand guiding the ship. Since their Super Bowl win under Gary Kubiak in 2015, Denver went through a revolving door of head coaches: Vance Joseph, Vic Fangio, Nathaniel Hackett. None could bring lasting success. Each tenure was marred by missteps, offensive dysfunction, and leadership issues. But then came Sean Payton, and everything changed. Payton walked into a locker room that was broken, a team viewed as a laughingstock. And in just one season, he re-established respect. He restored structure. He brought back belief. This is a future Hall of Fame coach. That's not speculation, that's fact. There's a reason he's among the highest paid coaches in the NFL. Because he delivers. He's the guy who wasn't afraid to say, Russell Wilson's contract. We're moving on. That took guts. That took vision. He followed a clear 4-step plan and nailed each one. Move on from Russell Wilson. Draft your franchise QB, done. Rebuild a defense that went from worst in the league to first. Find your jokers, those dynamic playmakers Payton loves to unleash. And now, with guys like Evan Engram and RJ Harvey, the pieces are in place. The coaching chaos is over. No more confusion. No more dysfunction. Denver finally has its identity back, built by a proven winner who knows how to lead. Let's talk about the final, and arguably most painful, problem the Broncos had last season. The run game. It wasn't just bad. It was broken. And the numbers tell the story loud and clear. Let's focus on the red zone, the heart of every offense, where games are won or lost. It's where you need creativity, toughness, and trust in your backfield. But Denver didn't have that last season. Javonte Williams, the so-called lead back, handled just 35.6% of red zone carries. That's shockingly low. By comparison, Saquon Barkley saw nearly 79%. What does that tell us? Denver didn't trust their own running back to get the job done when it mattered most. And defenses knew it. When a team becomes one-dimensional inside the 20, predictable things happen. Field goals instead of touchdowns. Or worse, turnovers. And the overall production? Brutal. Your top back didn't even crack 520 rushing yards on the season. That's unacceptable for a team trying to build a playoff identity. You can't compete in the AFC without a dependable, physical run game. Period. But just like the tight end room, Denver didn't ignore the problem. They attacked it. They brought in J.K. Dobbins, one of the most efficient runners in the NFL. He ranks third among all active backs in big play percentage and boasts a blistering 5.2 yards per carry average, second best in the league. That's elite. And they didn't stop there. They added RJ Harvey, a tough, explosive rookie with vision, burst, and the ability to turn small gains into chunk plays. The combination of Dobbins and Harvey could be the 1-2 punch Denver's been missing since the glory days. The message is clear. Sean Payton is done settling for average. Between the upgraded tight ends, a reloaded backfield, and a mastermind calling the plays, this offense is on the rise. For the first time in years, Denver can punch back. So to every analyst, critic, and rival who still sees this team as a joke, you're not paying attention. The 2025 Denver Broncos are coming, and they're coming fast. And when they hit you, it's going to hurt.